Today on Orange Cap Brewery, we are brewing a pumpkin ale. I'm really excited. This is going to be a beer that I am really looking forward to brewing. We got some fresh pumpkins donated from my Aunt Julia from the 51022. That's the beer I'm dedicating this to. So again, we got a pumpkin harvest ale. We're going to be brewing it today, drinking another pumpkin ale while we'll be brewing it. So stay tuned. Let's see how we're going to make it. Ooh, that's a good beer. For our ingredients, we're going to be adding 6 pounds of sparkling amber dry malt extract. Not quite into all grain brewing yet, so this malt extract is going to work for us today. Along with that, we're going to be adding 1 ounce of Fuggles hops. Not trying to make it a hoppy beer, we're trying to make it focused on the pumpkin and the spices within the pumpkin, so 1 ounce of Fuggles hops should work. Along with our grain and hops, we're going to be adding some spices, with starting with some molasses, some pumpkin pie spice, and then of course maple syrup. We're trying to get that all that spices out of this beer here, and I think this should get the job done. And finally, the yeast that we're going to be using is a dry ale yeast. This should give us a clean finish with our beer, making it a perfect 5 to 6% alcohol level. This should be a perfect yeast for this type of beer. Just want to say real quick, shout out to Steins and Vines for providing the beer equipment. Wouldn't be able to brew without them, so big shout out to my local beer supplier. For today's brew, we're going to be having Elysian Night Owl Pumpkin Ale. I'm really excited to try this. I think it just goes really well with a brewing of a pumpkin beer, so we're going to be drinking this today while we're brewing our pumpkin ale. Let's go. If I can get my beer to look as clean as that is the goal today, is to get a clean looking beer like that. Just a perfect hint of spice in there. Can really taste the pumpkin, the spice, the nutmeg. We're gonna be throwing all that in our brew today, so let's see how we're gonna do it, okay? So our pumpkin has been in the oven for now about 40 minutes at about 400 degrees. We're gonna pull it out. Should be pretty good right here. Oh yeah, it smells like pumpkin in here. So again, we just got our pumpkins just cut up to little pieces here, and we're just gonna take it and throw it right into the brew. The pumpkin has now been in the brew for about 20 minutes now at a steady 150 degrees. We're gonna let it go for just another 5 more minutes, leave it in there for about 25 minutes, and then we're gonna get that up to a boiling point, and then that's when we're gonna go ahead and add our extract. As you can see, it's coming along real nice. We got my brew partner right here, Carrots. He's also orange, so he thinks that's pretty funny. But yeah, it's looking really good so far. Alrighty, now we got our water at a boiling point, about 210 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and throw our malt extract in there along with our hops, our maple syrup, and our molasses, so let's do it. So my original recipe only called for 5.8 pounds of malt extract. We're just gonna make it 6 because I don't know what else to do with 0.4 pounds of malt extract. Most we'll do is we'll probably get a little bit higher alcohol percentage, but that's never hurt anybody. Go ahead and add bag number 2. And it's really important to be mixing in that malt extract. It kind of sticks to that pumpkin pieces in there, so make sure you stir it all in so that way it all gets dissolved into your wort correctly there. So this part, really tedious, just really stirring. Next, we're adding our hops to this. Again, just dump it right in, make sure it's stirred in really good here. You can definitely smell the bitterness from those hops there. That should be just the right amount of hops for this kind of beer. Again, we're not trying to make it a hoppy beer, we're trying to make the focus remain on the pumpkin and the spices that are in the brew. We're looking about a 20 IBU level, which is perfect for this beer. Alrighty, so this beer is looking really good. We're just making sure that's stirred in there, all that malt extract. Again, that malt extract kind of sticks to the pumpkin, so you make sure to really stir it in to get that full flavor and full effect. So yeah, let's go ahead and add the molasses and maple syrup. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and add our maple syrup. We got 4 ounces right here. Just throwing it in. Again, make sure this you stir this really good because this stuff will stick to the bottom and burn. We do not want that to happen. So, all right, now we're gonna add our molasses. I just threw our molasses in this jar because it's exactly 4 ounces, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Again, 4 ounces of molasses. This stuff tastes pretty interesting. I don't know if I'll be putting it on my pancakes or anything, but it's that really thick, syrupy flavor, but I think it's gonna go really well in our 5-gallon batch of beer that we're making here. Again, a lot of this is just stirring it in because this stuff is thick and it will caramelize on the bottom, so we just really wanna make sure that we're getting it all stirred into the brew, making sure it's all good to go there. And if you're talented like me, you can stir and drink your brew beer at the same time. By the way, this beer is phenomenal. You can really taste the pumpkin. It makes it feel a lot like fall. And the fact it's like 50 degrees out today, so today's a perfect day to be brewing this anyway. So now that we have our hops, our extract, and all of our spices, molasses, maple syrup, we're gonna let it sit for about an hour in the boiling stage. So right now it's at about 212 to 215, which is perfect boiling range. We're gonna let it go for 60 minutes, stir occasionally, make sure all that molasses is in there. Especially molasses and maple syrup, that stuff is thick. So we're just gonna be having a beer and stirring it occasionally, and we'll be back in a moment. Longer brew days require 2 beers, so we got another Elysian beer. This one's an Imperial Stout Pumpkin, so oh, that's good too. Man, we're getting all the pumpkin beers in today. I love it. Again, you gotta have 2 beers while brewing, so it's like a 2-hour long, 3-hour long process. So now we're about halfway done with our boil. We got 30 minutes left. That last 5 minutes, we're gonna throw in that pumpkin spice. We're only throwing in 2 tablespoons. We don't wanna overkill it with that pumpkin spice. Too much can really kill our beer. Stir it all in, and then we're gonna go ahead and chill it. All right, we're back. We're in the last 5 minutes of the boil, so we're gonna go ahead and add our pumpkin spice. Again, we don't wanna overpower it. Too much of this can make it really too spicy, and we're not looking for that. We're just looking for a hint of this. So we're adding 3 teaspoons of pumpkin spice to this. Just get it in there, and we are stirring this up. Last 5 minutes of this, and this is gonna be good to go. All right, so it's been a full 60 minutes at boil. We've added all of our ingredients now, so we're gonna go ahead and turn this off. And we're gonna go ahead and chill it. We're gonna try to get down to about 70 degrees as fast as we can. Usually it just takes about 45 minutes to an hour. And once we do that, we're gonna go ahead and add 2.5 gallons of water, and then we're gonna let it ferment. So now we have our brew chilling in an ice bath. Again, we're trying to get it down to 70 degrees as quick as possible. It was at 212. It should just take about a little less than an hour, and then we'll go ahead and siphon it out into 2.5 gallons of water. So now that we have it down to about 70 degrees, we're gonna go ahead and take it from our brew right here, siphon it down into about 2.5 gallons of clean water. We are gonna take a gravity reading so we can tell how much alcohol we're gonna end up with. We're right at like 1.050, which is exactly kind of where we want to be at. So right now we're looking at like a 5.5% alcohol beer, which is perfect. For the last step, we're just gonna go ahead and add our yeast right into it, and we're gonna make sure to stir it in really well right here. The last step is to add the fermenting lock to it so we don't let any bacteria into it. Now we're just gonna let it sit and ferment for about a week, transfer it, let it ferment for another week, and then we'll be bottling and drinking this in no time. So that completes our brew day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like, go follow us on Instagram, Orange Cat Brewery. We're always making new beers. We're tasting new beers, anything beer. Go follow us on Instagram, Orange Cat Brewery. Again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned a little thing or two. And we'll see you on the next video. Cheers.